What's up, YouTube? I am back here today because I made a post on Reddit and showed some of the guns that I currently own. And I was talking a little bit about them, the pros, the cons, what's good, what's bad about them. But those are not the only guns I have or had throughout my life. And I decided to do this video talking about 2011s or 1911 DS, whatever you want to call them, and kind of like give everybody a little bit of my opinion on each one of them that I had before. So for everybody to understand what I'm basing my opinion on, I shoot competition and I try to do USPSA as much as I can, but I also do 3-gun and practical pistol, but I kind of stick to limited optics. So whatever gun you can use in limited optics, that's the gun I like to shoot the most. And because of that, I have the Atlas Athena. This gun here is not ported, and it's 4.6 inches. The whole thing is DLC coded. I'm running the SRO on it, and this is my main match gun. And if you're into 2011s, you know this is not a cheap gun, but I wanted you to understand this is what I shoot on a regular basis. So I've tried everything from the cheapest you can get to one of the most expensive you can get, and I'll give you guys my opinion based on that. So I'm gonna start talking to you guys about the Mach 9 DS. This is the Mach 9 DS comp. So it's a 4.25 inch with a comped slide and barrel. I'm running the Holosun 507C with the big buttons on the side. This gun from the factory is great. The only thing you have to do is use different screws to attach the plate to the slide, because the screws supplied have a hex head and they strip very easily. So they prevent you from torquing it to specs, and they're most likely going to come loose after 100, 150 rounds. So if you buy one of these, go ahead, use aftermarket screws for your plate to slide, and then use whatever you want for optic to plate, because I mean, mine are holding pretty well after 700 rounds, and after 150 the stock plate came loose, so I changed the screws for the aftermarket ones, and they've been solid since then. This gun is a very good shooter. The only complaint I have about it is the trigger. So I do some work on my guns, so I tune the triggers, I leave them as I like. And what I really like about the 2011s is the short reset. So in order to get the short reset on the Mach 9, you do have to change your over travel screw for a longer one. So what I used was a M3 8mm screw. And after that, I was able to tighten it the way I wanted without having the shoe coming loose. Other than that, you don't need to do anything. You can always, change springs here and there. It's not needed, but if you know what you're doing, you can get this gun running even better. What I'm doing here with this one is a 19-pound mainspring with a 13-pound recoil spring, and it's been running flawless, very flat, very predictable. The return to zero is really good on it. And I went ahead, removed the magwell, and this is my main carry gun right now. So the trigger is set at around 3.5 pounds with a very short reset, the way I like it, and I feel very confident shooting this gun. I shot this in a match, and I did fairly well with it, considering it was my first match with this gun, and it was pretty much my first time shooting this gun. So overall, very good gun. I would 100% recommend anyone that is getting into 2011s. This is a very solid option. Besides the Mach 9, I think another very solid option, and I'm talking about guns that I've shot or tried before, I would say the Prodigy. So my 1911 DS life started with the Prodigy. The Prodigies are very well balanced. Even though they are MIM, they are very easy to tune, and the trigger can go down to like 2.5 pounds without a lot of effort. The fit and finish on the Prodigies are also really good in my opinion. It's a Cerakoted gun, but you do get a very tight and very well put together gun. So besides the Mach 9, I would say the Prodigies are also a very good, solid option for those that want to get into 2011, 1911 DS. And one of the guns that has been hyped lately, and I was pretty excited to get it, but it kind of disappointed me a little bit, is this guy here. So this is the Romulus. This gun is 100% stock. So this is the new Romulus with the RMR plate, it comes with two plates, RMR and RMSC footprint. And this one in specific is the 3.5-inch plus the compensator. So it's about a 4.25-inch gun overall. But this is a 3.5-inch slide with the threaded barrel and the compensator. And this gun looks amazing. I mean, in my opinion, this is one of the best looking 2011s in the market right now, especially for the price point of the Romulus. It is a very, very smooth gun. All the controls, they work fine. The trigger, it came to me with a like 2.5 to 3 pound trigger, which was pretty surprising. The feel on the trigger is really good. I mean, you have a very short take up, it breaks, and you have a very short reset. So out of the box, it felt great. But I did have issues with this gun. So all the guns that you're seeing here were shot at least 200, 250 rounds. So this one, I did have a few light primer strikes, and I don't know what it is. I've got friends that had the same problem, and they told me like, hey, it's your mainspring, because it comes with a mainspring that is very, very light. And it did in fact come with a mainspring that I'm probably, if I would guess, I would say it's like 13, 14 pounds, which is really, really light. So after I went to the range, it did have some, light primer strikes. And once it shot, the rounds that went off, I can tell you, like, having a compensator and not having a compensator, for me, it felt the same. I mean, to be honest, I know this is a 3.5-inch slide, so the 3.5-inch slide guns are a little bit snappier, but this one with the compensator felt like I was shooting a 4.25-inch gun without the comp. So I think the holes that they put on the comp, and I know they are issuing a different compensator with a few of the models, but I will say do not expect the compensator to do a lot. I do have a plan for this gun, and I still don't know when that's going to be done, but I do have a plan on opening up this compensator and possibly adding ports to this gun as well. I do need to try one thing before, because some people were having issues with the gun holding zero, and mine held zero fine, but I did switch the optic, because right now I'm running the RMR, but I tried to put an SRO on it, and the SRO would not zero. And when I say it would not zero, I'm talking about I put it in there, and when I went to zero it, I would bottom it out, like it would go, the elevation adjustment would go all the way. I don't remember if it was like up or down, but it would go all the way, and then I wouldn't have any more clicks, and it was still not zeroed. So I don't know if that's a problem with the optic, but that optic worked fine on many other guns, and I currently have it on my XP Pro. So this one, it works fine, but my plan was to use this gun as a match gun and use it on like 3-gun or open division, but I do want a bigger optic. So I'm going to try again, probably with the 507 comp, and see if I can zero that optic in this gun. And then if I can, I'll probably go ahead, open up the comp, and add ports to it. And then also, like, change the internals, trigger, and possibly the grip. But overall, Romulus 3.5 with the comp, very underwhelming. I had high expectations and I was a little bit disappointed on it. Since we're talking about Romulus, I will show you guys this one. So this is a 4.25 inch Romulus, and this is the older model, so it's that shiny DLC. I do like the shiny DLC, but I prefer the flat one from the 3.5 from the new model. They are both like they look very good with the tri-top and everything, but this one is definitely not a stock gun. So this has all EGW internals. This has grenade ports from United Research. And I'm also running a Unique Firearm Solutions aluminum grip with the grip tape. So this is like a test gun. Like everything that I can, I try on this one first. So like grips, internals, sights. I mean, I'm running the O-Sight S, and this is their green olive sight. Closed emitter, very, very good so far. I mean, I know it's O-Sight or Olight. They don't have a great reputation, but these sights, I became a big fan of them, especially for the price point. But anyways, talking about the gun, the 4.25 with the ports, with all the modifications that I have, it's a very good gun. I had a few issues with it, but I think it was because of the mods that I did. I was running a shock buffer on it, and it was short stroking the gun, so I was having some stovepipes. But after I removed the shock buffer, it's been running pretty good, and the ports do a really, really good job. So, I would say a 4.25 inch Romulus is a good gun. Obviously, if you can upgrade a few things here and there, it's going to become a better gun. But I think this is probably a better option. Like buying a 4.25 is going to be a better option than buying the 3.5 with the comp. And it's probably less expensive as well. And the last one I want to talk about is the XP Pro. So this is a 2011 that is probably in, you could say it's like a different category. I really like, I don't know if I like comparing this with the other ones just because it uses different magazines. So yes, it's still a 2011, but this takes Glock mags. This gun has, like the other ones, over 200, 250 rounds through it, and it is a very accurate gun, very easy to shoot. All metal construction, so steel slide, steel frame with an aluminum grip. The trigger is really nice. I mean, you have very little. I mean, there's almost no take up. It breaks at around 3.5, 4 pounds. And here's the reset. It's a little longer than I would like, but still a short reset. Definitely better trigger than a Glock. All the controls work fine, and the gun has been flawless as well. I do think that the recoil spring on this gun is a little light, because you can feel like when the slide is locked back, you put a mag in and you let the slide go, it has a little bit of resistance to go into battery. And you can feel when you're shooting the gun, after, I don't know, like 100 rounds, 150 rounds, it starts getting a little sluggish. It starts slowing down a little bit. So I have no idea how many pounds is the recoil spring on this gun, but I would say if you go probably 1-2 pounds heavier, you're gonna have a better or more reliable gun. Even though I had no failures, I think like going to 500 rounds without cleaning or without oiling it, I will probably face some issues. So now with the Athena in my hands, I am going to tell you guys what my opinion is about, all 2011s, 1911s that I have or had. And I'll tell you for sure, like, if you can get one of these, definitely do it. I mean, it's a great gun. It works very well. It's a piece of art. I mean, it's just like, it is on another level. I did not pay MSRP for this, and I don't think I would pay MSRP for this because it is a very expensive gun. So if you find one for a good deal, get it. For MSRP, Not sure if I would do it. But talking about all the other options, including staccatos, which I had the P, I had the C2, I had the CS, I had the XC, and I shot the XL, the C. Talking about all of those guns, including like, Max, Prodigies, GP arms, I can 100% say that staccatos are not worth the price. And if you tell me like, hey, I'm thinking about getting a staccato P, what should I get instead? I would say either a Prodigy or a Mach 9 DS. And I know a lot of the staccato fanboys are going to come after me after this. But this is my opinion. I'm not telling you to do it, but this is what I did or what I would do after shooting everything that I shot until this day. So the Staccato P is a great gun, probably very reliable, if you're planning on shooting 10, 20, 30,000 rounds with it. I mean, it's proven. But as far as like performance, yes, you're going to get other guns like the Mac, the Prodigy, even the Apollo. I haven't tried the Apollo, but I've heard good things about it. And yes, they are not a staccato and they will never be a staccato, but you're paying half of the price to get the same or even better performance out of some of the other guns. And the same holds true to, the CS, the C2. I mean, the CS and the C are in its own category with the slimmer grips. But if you compare the C2 with like a Prodigy Compact or even the GP Arms, like the GP Arms was not my favorite at all. But I would still prefer the GP Arms or the Prodigy over paying twice for a CS or a C2. And if we're talking about the Staccato XC, which in my opinion is Staccato's best gun by far, I still think the XC is way overpriced. So right now, I mean, the Mach 9 DS Comp put the same smile on my face that the XC did when I shot it for the first time. So that tells you that the performance out of this gun is very similar to the performance on the XC, but this costs way less. But I know they are not the same. They're not even close. But if you really want to compare a gun that is very close to the XC, in my opinion, is better than the XC, you can look at the MPA DS9 TC, which is a gun that is going to have a barrel and a compensator just like the XC has. Maybe it's not a single piece, but you have the same design, but you get an aluminum grip and you get much better well-tuned internals and a much better action for less money. So again, I want to remind you guys, this is my opinion based on all the guns I shot till today. And to remind you all, it doesn't matter if a company sends me a gun, it doesn't matter if a company gives me a discount, or if I have to pay with my own money. I will always try to give you guys my honest opinion. And for those that are subscribed to the channel or follow me on Instagram, if you don't, I ask you to do it because it's a way of helping the channel grow and me bringing more content to you guys. But those that are already following me, subscribed, you guys know I try to answer all the comments. I try to answer every question that you guys send my way. And I always try to help as much as I can because, I got into 2011s, 1911s, really fell in love with the platform. And I think like more people should try them. I know that sometimes they're way more expensive than the other ones, but that's why I come here and I try from the cheapest to the more expensive to let you guys know what's worth it and what's not. So I know this was a long video, a lot of talking, not much action, but if you guys liked, if you guys learned something, if you guys got something useful out of this, please leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing, and stay tuned for more. And if you have some questions, leave it down below and I'll try to answer. Thank you.